Hey peeps, we are reading chapter 4 of 4th grade rats today. If you remember in chapter 3, Joey was trying to convince Morton more and more reasons why he should become a rat. And he left Morton and he just kind of whispered to him, hey, say no to your mom. So he's trying to get Morton to kind of rebel against his mom. He thinks that since they're rats, they should be able to kind of do whatever they want. And it seems like Morton's starting to kind of see Joey's point of view and is like, maybe you're right. Maybe I should act more like a rat. Maybe I will kind of get what I want. I didn't really realize how much I was missing out on because I was being a good kid and I don't get to do stuff on my own. Or what else did he say? He said, are you allowed to go places by yourself? Are you allowed to stay up late? Are you allowed to say no to your mom? So he's saying, well, maybe you should be able to. And if you're a rat, that's one step before being a man. So let's see what chapter 4 is. It is called Zipper Nose and Bubba. I'm no good at hiding my feelings. My mother says I would never make a good poker player, whatever that means. Have you guys ever heard someone say, oh, he's got a good poker face, or can't play poker with this guy? When you're playing poker, you have cards. It's a card game, and you basically don't want to give away what your cards are. So someone who, I guess, can cover up what they're feeling, people would call a good poker player, because you might have a really good set of cards, but you might act all cool and calm and not give yourself away. That would mean you're a good poker player. If you had really bad cards and you're like, oh my God, or you were just frowning and like really upset about your cards, then you wouldn't be a very good poker player because you're giving away your hand. Everyone else will know what you have, or at least know that it's not a good hand or a bad hand. So that's what they mean by that. So Suds here, Morton is saying, my mom says I wouldn't be a good poker player because when he has an emotion, when he's sad, you can tell. When he's happy, you can tell. So he gives away his emotions easily. Bad first day, she said, as soon as she spotted me. I slumped on the sofa. Worst first day ever. She whistled. That is bad. What happened? I don't know. Lots. It's hard to She sat down beside me. She patted my knee. Give it a try. I took a deep breath. Well, it's all about being in 4th grade now. You know, a rat. 3rd grade angels, 4th grade rats. So I'm not an angel anymore. What kind of advice do you think his mom's going to give him when he kind of tells her the situation he's in and the problem he faced on his first day of school? What do you think your mom would tell you if you came home and told her about that first day? I didn't realize that all happened in one day. That was a long first day of school. Try to think about what you might hear from your mom if you were sharing with her your experience. She snapped her fingers. Well, golly gee, you could have fooled me. You're not funny, Mom. That's your opinion. I happen to think I am quite funny. I glared at her. Yeah, well, you wouldn't think it was so funny if you were in 4th grade and everybody was giving you a hard time. Life isn't as simple as it was in the old days, you know. I got problems. Her grin disappeared. Her eyes changed. She stroked my hair. Yeah, I guess you do. Tell you what, she squeezed my leg. I think it's time for a bath. Yeah, I said, I think so too. I dragged myself upstairs. When I was a baby, I had upset stomachs a lot. It made me pretty cranky. You were not a ton of fun to be with, my mother says. But she discovered something that helped, a bath. The warm water would have a good effect on me. I would stop crying. I would calm down. Sometimes she would pour in bubble bath. Pretty soon I'd be laughing and splashing. Suds were flying. My mother says each time a bubble burst in my face, it made a freckle. She says Suds gave me my curly hair too. One thing's for sure, Suds gave me my name. I stopped having upset stomachs by the time I was 2, but I never stopped. So that's interesting. We just kind of learned a little bit about how Morton got his nickname of Suds. I guess it's because whenever he was little, he would be crying. He was kind of a cranky baby, and whenever his mom gave him a bath, he would calm down. So that's why they started calling him Suds, and I guess it must have stuck. So far, I think his mom's just trying to comfort him. We made a prediction on the previous page, but it seems like she's at first was trying to be funny, joke out of it, and then she could tell that wasn't working. So she's trying to soothe him by giving him a bath. It says, the warm water would have a good effect on me. I would stop crying. So I think she's trying to kind of do what she would do when he's a baby. Which is kind of interesting because this whole time Joey has been trying to convince Sud to stop being a baby, right? And kind of grow up a little bit. So let's finish that sentence. I stopped having upset stomachs by the time I was 2, but I never stopped liking a warm bath. It doesn't matter what time of the day or night it is. If I'm sad or ticked off or wound up about something, I usually feel better if I head for the water. Do you feel this way? Some people, it works for me. If I'm really upset, maybe sad or mad or overwhelmed or stressed, if I take a bath or a shower, sometimes it feels like you're just refreshed afterwards. You get out and you feel like a new person, or at least with a new, brain, like with new thoughts and a new perspective. So that's a good little trick. I know that works for me sometimes. Well, that's what she meant when she told me to take a bath. 5 minutes later, there I was in the tub with my tugboat and my dinosaur. It looks like a picture of him with his dinosaur and tugboat. I guess even I had to admit that I was getting a little too old for toys in the bathtub, but I still liked them. They've been with me as long as I can remember. What was I supposed to do? All of a sudden hate them? Throw them away? I started thinking about my life, the important things in it. My Disney World t-shirt, my bike, my Klondike bars, my Matchbox car collection, Heavenly Hash ice cream, sliding boards, Spider-Man, Winky, my one-eyed teddy bear, my oldest friend in the world. I tried to picture life without them. I couldn't. So it seems like Suds is thinking real deep right now. Can you kind of relate to what he's going through? Because you guys are at an age where you're kind of in between, right? You're not quite a teenager or in high school yet, but you're definitely not like a little baby or a little kid, right? You're not a kindergartner or first grader. So he's kind of saying like, well, I've played with these things all my life. So now suddenly, just because I'm getting a little older, I'm supposed to just get rid of everything and say I'm basically an adult now? Because Joey told him that, rats is right before being a man. So I'm sure that you guys can kind of relate. Maybe you were really into something that some of your friends now think is for little kids. And you're like, what? We literally played with that last year. Like, why all of a sudden is it not cool? Or are we too old for that? So you might have some of these feelings that Suds is going through as well. It's pretty common, I would say, for your age. And he's having a hard time with it, it seems like, which I don't blame him. I always thought when you grew up, stuff like bikes and bubblegum just sort of disappeared from your life. You didn't want them anymore. They got replaced by cars and coffee and all. I never thought you actually had to give them up, whether you were ready to or not. I thought growing up was just something that happened. You just sort of went along for the ride. But if Joey was right, growing up didn't just happen to you. You had to work at it. And that, according to Joey, meant being a rat. For the first time in my life, I wanted to slow down. I didn't care if I never had another birthday, as long as I could keep my one-eyed teddy bear. My brain was sore from all this thinking. I ran the faucet some more. I let myself sink into the water. The lower I sank, the better I felt. It was like I could feel time slowing down, feel it stopping, going backwards, back to 3rd grade angels, 2nd grade cats, 1st grade babies. Little yellow tugboats bobbing in the water. Bobbing, bobbing, my mother's voice, Sudsy, dinner time! As soon as I sat down to dinner, Zipper Nose, otherwise known as my sister Amy, sneered at me. Rat. She didn't stop there. She puckered her mouth and raised her upper lip, baring her 2 front teeth. Wow, so he's really getting it at home too. I didn't realize that he had a sister, and it sounds like his sister is also making fun of him for being a rat. So She didn't stop there. She puckered her mouth and raised her upper lip, baring her 2 front teeth. I had to admit it was a good imitation. So she's making a little face like a rat, like sticking her teeth out. Rat, 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 she went. My mother plopped some mashed potatoes on her plate. Amy, stop. It was too late. Baby brother Bubba was already baring his little fangs and going, wat, wat, wat. He doesn't say his R's right yet. Bubba, you too, snapped my mother. Right, Mom. Now Zippernose was nibbling like a rat on a slice of bread, and now Bubba was nibbling like a rat on his hot dog. And now my mother was standing and slamming a serving spoon down on the table. I said stop! She glared at my father. Elmore? So it looks like this is them at the dinner table. I'm guessing that this is Morton, this is Bubba, the little brother, and this is his sister. I don't know if he said his real name. He said his nickname, Zippernose. Oh, Amy is her name. My father looked up from his plate. Stop, he said, and went back to his eating. My mother is pretty laid back, but compared to my father, she's a nervous wreck. My mother sat back down. Mom, whined Zippernose, that's his sister Amy. I can't help it. He's a rat now. I'm just treating him like the dirty, rotten, slimy rat that he is. Wat, 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 said Bubba. Enough, commanded my mom. Amy, another word from you and you can leave the table. Zippernose's words stopped, but not her faces. She kept baring her front teeth and nibbling on her food. All right, said Mom, upstairs. Zippernose screeched. Mom, I didn't say anything. You're making faces. You said not another word. You didn't say not another face. I'm saying it now. Your dinner is over. Leave the table. Upstairs. To your room. Close the door. Good night. Zippernose stomped off. Before she ran upstairs, she yelled back, rodent. You guys know what rodent means? Rodent is the type of animal or a classification of animal, and a rat is a type of rodent. So it's another word kind of that is almost a synonym for rat. There's other animals that are rodents besides rats, but a rat is one of them. Bubba echoed, rodent, rodent, rodent. Then he started laughing. When Bubba laughs and eats at the same time, he becomes a midget volcano. Pieces of mashed potatoes and hot dog were flying everywhere. I slammed my fork down. I'm out of here. I stomped off. My mother called, Suds, here. I didn't say no like Joey told me, but I didn't say yes either. I just walked away. So that's the end of the chapter. So what do you think about that? He said, I didn't say no like Joey told me, but I didn't say yes either. I just kept going. So we kind of see Suds here, disobeying his mother a little bit. Because she said, Suds, here. And I assume that means like come back here or come over here. And he just kept walking. He wasn't mean. He didn't say anything to her. He didn't yell at her, but he didn't listen to her. He didn't do what she asked. So it looks like, Joey might be having a bit of an influence on Suds, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see until chapter 5. So Monday, I will post a video for chapter 5. I hope you are enjoying the story, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.